Now at 5:30 on WKYT this morning, crews have been at the scene of a deadly fire all night long here in Lexington. We'll have the new and latest information coming up for you in a live report. Today, friends and family of Lexington's latest murder victim will say their final goodbyes to the teenager. And today, Paris, France essentially on lockdown as world leaders gather for a United Nations climate change conference.
This is WKYT This Morning.
Good morning to you and welcome in. It's so good to have you along here on Monday, November 30th, the last day of November. We're heading into December tomorrow. I'm Bill Bryant and Rebecca is off today, and we certainly hope you had a great holiday weekend. We want to check in with meteorologist Micah Harris. Just remember how beautiful Thanksgiving was as we deal with what we're dealing with now, right?
Exactly right, because it's been ugly the past few days. After Thanksgiving, we start to see that rain move on in, and it just hasn't moved that much. We've had one system after another as this front is just kind of stalled over the region, and then you get one wave after another, and it's not stopping today, and I guarantee you it won't stop for tomorrow either. Temperatures outside, we're sitting in the 40s. The light rain is mainly confined down toward the southeast this morning. However, the rest of the region is still looking at that mist and drizzle outside, so you'll have at least something falling out of the sky as we work our way through your next 24 hours. Look at these temperatures. Once they hit the afternoon, they don't really drop off that much once we slide off into the night and into tomorrow. So here comes a warm front. Here comes some better weather temperature-wise for tomorrow. However, here comes some more rain, too. I'll get into that forecast, show you how much we're expecting coming up.
All right, we'll get on to some drier conditions later in the week. Thank you very much, Micah. Today, we're hoping to learn more about a deadly fire in Lexington. The fire broke out late last night at a duplex on Clays Mill Road. WKYT's Mark Barber is joining us live from there, where crews have been all night long monitoring the scene. Mark, good morning.
Good morning, Bill. This really is a terrible tragedy. Firefighters do not know how this fire started yet, but they say they do know that there were not any working smoke detectors in this duplex. Now, when this fire started around 8 o'clock last night, firefighters rushed here, battling the heavy smoke and flames. They say they worked as quickly as they could to knock the fire down here at the home on Clays Mill Road and Harrodsburg Road. Firefighters tell us, though, that a woman who lived here did die in the flames. We've been putting calls into the coroner's office this morning, checking for updates, but they say they are not releasing her name yet. Now, we have learned that the woman relied on an oxygen tank, and paramedics have been called here to help her before. A man also lived in this duplex. We're told that he was treated for smoke inhalation after he escaped from the flames. The holiday season really is a dangerous time of year for house fires. People are using fireplaces for the first time in a long time, and they're running space heaters all night. While investigators are still trying to figure out what sparked this tragedy, they say this fire is a sad reminder about the importance of smoke detectors.
The family lost everything. It was a two-story home. She had 5 kids, including her husband, and they lost everything except the night clothes that they run out with.
Now, this fire has been out now for many hours, but firefighters are still out here watching this house, making sure that flames don't spark up again and cause any more damage. Live in Lexington, Mark Barber, WKYT.
Mark, we thank you. And not even 15 minutes after that fire broke out there, the deadly one, firefighters were called out to another fire. This one was on Castle Rock Way in Lexington. That fire is in a rural area. Firefighters say water had to be trucked in. Thankfully, no one was hurt in the fire, and that home was empty at the time. Today, friends and family will be laying a murdered Lexington teenager to rest. 18-year-old Jamal Gossett died last Sunday night on Kent Drive. He was Lexington's 16th murder victim this year. Neighbors found him in the driver's seat of his SUV after hearing gunshots. So far, police have not made any arrests in the case. Gossett's visitation is today at Main Street Baptist Church in Lexington, and his funeral will be following at 1 o'clock. New this morning, dispatchers in Laurel County tell us that officers helped clean up a train derailment overnight. They say a CSX train derailed north of East Bernstadt around 11:30 last night. About 5 or 6 rail cars went off of the tracks near the Little Littontown Road. However, dispatchers say the cars were empty and no roads were shut down because of the accident. The Clark County Sheriff's Office is warning joggers to be extra cautious. The warning comes after what they're calling a sexual attack on a runner. The Sheriff's Office says a man attacked a woman who was jogging on the Veterans Memorial Bypass Saturday morning. Police do have a limited description of the suspect at this point, and they have not made any arrests. We're tracking the investigation this morning into a bizarre crime spree in Louisville. Police say 46-year-old John McClaney impersonated an officer, pulled a woman over, and sexually abused her. Officers say he then used the woman's key to get into a cell phone store and stole the safe inside. Police tracked McClaney to a home where they say he barricaded himself in a garage and threatened to kill officers.
They were able to administer gas into the garage and fire a couple less lethal weapons, striking him. Then they were able to take him into custody. There's no doubt in my mind that Mr. McClaney is a violent person. I'm just glad that we were able to do some good police work and get to that house before he had a chance to kill her.
The police chief says McClaney has been targeting Cricket mobile phone stores in the area lately. He pled guilty in another burglary case last year. New this morning, an Eastern Kentucky Fire Department is asking for your help. They're collecting donations for a family who lost their home and all of their belongings in a weekend fire. WKYT's Mike Byer is joining us now at our live desk with what they're looking for the family. Mike?
A family of 7, including 5 children, lost almost everything they owned in the fire, and now a fire department in Breathitt County is asking for clothing and household items for the family. Early Saturday morning, the Rusaw Fire Department responded to a house fire on Kentucky 30. Firefighters say a wood coal stove caused the fire, which ended up destroying the home. The family was inside when the fire started and fortunately made it out alive. The fire department is now asking for donations to help the family get back on their feet. The fire chief says the family lost almost everything, and the donations needed most are clothing and household items. Now, donations for the family can be dropped off at the Rusaw Volunteer Fire Department. We'll have a full list of the items that are needed on our website at WKYT.com. At the live desk, Mike Byer, WKYT.
Mike, thank you. Firefighters in Pike County investigating a fire at a fast food restaurant. That fire was yesterday at Taco Bell in Coal Run. Thankfully, nobody was hurt, but firefighters say the Taco Bell is destroyed. Firefighters are trying to figure out just how that fire started. This morning, President Obama is in Paris taking part in a UN climate conference. The long-planned summit comes just 2 weeks after terrorists killed 130 people in the city. As Don Champion reports, security is at an all-time high.
With heavily armed officers standing guard, Paris is essentially on lockdown this morning. President Obama, along with 146 world leaders, are in town for a UN climate conference. After landing in the city Sunday night, the president's first stop was the Bataclan Theater, the site of the worst bloodshed during the terror attacks 2 weeks ago. Joined by the French president and mayor of Paris, the president laid a flower and bowed his head. Riot police have been deployed in massive numbers. More than 300 people were detained by authorities after police fired tear gas at protesters throwing bottles. They were angry about the government's ban on demonstrations during the long-planned conference. In the wake of the terror attacks, the summit itself poses an enormous security challenge. Bruce Tully spent 40 years protecting dignitaries around the world.
This is the highest threat environment that I've professionally ever seen. There's so much going on, not just with ISIS, other terrorist groups and protesters. This is an incredibly critical threat time for us to be involved in.
120,000 police and army personnel are stationed throughout the country. Security is such a concern, President Obama is staying at the heavily guarded U.S. ambassador's residence instead of a hotel. Don Champion, CBS News.
And as a part of the enhanced measures, nearly 1,000 people thought to pose a security risk have been blocked from entering France. Back locally, according to University of Louisville men's basketball coach, a recent scandal might be hurting more than just the team's reputation. The basketball team is not ranked, even though they are 5-0. Coach Rick Pitino said at a post-game news conference that he thinks it's because of the sex scandal surrounding the team. That's according to the Courier-Journal. Investigators are looking into claims written in a book that a basketball staffer paid escorts to dance for and have sex with recruits. Most people nowadays see presidential candidate Ben Carson as a politician, but to some people he is much more. Before joining the race for the White House, Carson was a neurosurgeon, and one man in Carter County remembers him for managing him with his severe epilepsy. In 2004, Dr. Carson removed a tumor from Tanner Tackett's brain, and his seizures finally stopped. Tackett says he remembers Dr. Carson as being kind and compassionate.
He wouldn't treat you like you were any different from all the other patients or anybody else in the hospital. And he could bring a smile to your face. I always joke with people. I tell them that if he actually does win, I'm going to ask him if that gives me free admission to the Oval Office.
The presidential candidate also became an inspiration to Tackett. Because of him, Tackett is also pursuing a career in pediatric medicine. He is now a junior at Morehead State University. Good luck to him. Time this morning is 5:40, and let's check live drive traffic this morning. See what is going on out there bright and early on this Monday. Here is a look at our current situation. A lot of green on there, meaning that for the most part, traffic flow is normal. We have no reports of any major problems. I-75 was a mess yesterday. A lot of people spending many hours caught up in traffic jams because of several accidents with that low-level cloud base that we had and all of the rain that was moving through. But this morning, the interstate is moving along fine. We have no reports of any major problems. You can see Richmond Road beginning to get just a little bit busy this morning there as you head toward New Circle. And then it also looks like US 60 again this morning. Again, they've been doing some resurfacing work over there, so maybe that's what that issue is. Good to have you along on WKYT this Monday morning. A lot more news on the way. A hockey game and a burger. Sounds like a great combination, right? Well, maybe not while wearing this getup, though. We'll show you more of this burger-loving bride coming up after weather.
And we're looking outside. Pretty nasty conditions again today, and we'll do it again for tomorrow, too. We have some sloppy weather ahead. I'll show you that and when it moves on out. Coming up.